This is Southern Cross News with Joe Palmer.
Well, there are fresh claims tonight. Tasmanian businesses are experiencing an unprecedented tradesman and apprentice shortage, with many advertising for months to no avail. One company in the state's north told us in its 25 years of operation, this is the worst year yet, with often no one applying for advertised jobs. It comes as the government boasts Tasmania is leading the nation in investment growth.
For 25 years, Grant Moore has managed this workshop in Georgetown and tries to employ new apprentices every year. But times are tougher now than ever before, with often no one responding to job ads.
I could probably put 8 to 10 on, and everybody around here is screaming. You know, in this street alone, there's over 400 people that are employed in this street, and that's in Georgetown. You know, and that's a wonderful thing, and we still need more.
Grant says the lack of apprentices is being felt right across the state, which he says is hard to understand given how well the industry is doing. What's more, he says there's plenty of staff on the mainland, but enticing them over is difficult.
You know, they don't have to be young people. You know, they're going to invest, I guess if they're going to move over here, they're going to invest in buying houses and cars and all that sort of stuff. So if we could try and target people like that and get them over in this area, it'd probably be very, very good.
There are currently several VET and TAFE programs available, but Grant says there's just not enough people enrolled.
A lot of the staff that are teaching them are very, very good staff. They're committed to, you know, to providing the proper education in that sort of stuff, but there doesn't seem to be many people in them classes right now, so we need more people coming through.
And meeting future demand from here won't be a short-term fix.
One of the first things we would do is undertake a skills audit for those areas of interest to know where the opportunities are so that we can better align our training pathways to employment opportunities.
Obviously, we've got to work very hard to ensure that our workforce does have the capacity and the capability to deliver on the projects that we've got.
The government spent time today touring construction of Launceston's Brisbane Street Mall, saying there are currently $1.8 billion worth of commercial projects in action, and reassuring the public that this industry has the tradesmen to get the job done. Jessica Moran, Southern Cross News.
Tasmania Police is rolling out the use of body cameras for frontline officers to capture footage of incidents. The devices have to be manually triggered, but authorities say the recordings could make prosecutions easier and help settle complaints about police behaviour.
Officers getting ready to hit the beat, donning a new piece of equipment. These are the first of more than 600 body cameras to be rolled out over the next 3 years.
It's about officer safety. We want our officers to be safe. We want to record and capture what's actually going on so we can actually get the best evidence, but also hopefully those people modify the behaviour when they're dealing with police.
Have you got your licence with you?
The footage can be used to back up the police version of events and be submitted to court as evidence.
I just stop there. Hey!
The Police Association says people in front of the cameras are more likely to behave themselves.
It provides protection for our officers not only by modifying behaviour, but it provides their side of the story when a complaint is made about them.
Officers have to manually activate the cameras, setting off a red flashing light and also saving the previous 30 seconds of vision using a buffering system.
These are actually for when police officers deal with people under various circumstances. So we certainly wouldn't suggest or want every second of every police officer's day recorded. That just wouldn't be appropriate.
It's got to be turned off when they're inside stations or inside certain buildings due to legislation. So it is important that it can be turned on and off. And again, if there's a question asked as to why it wasn't turned on, the officer will have to justify that.
The cameras are now becoming operational in Hobart, with the rollout continuing to Launceston, Devonport and Burnie over the coming months. Michael Breen, Southern Cross News.
A controversial proposal to slash the number of councils in Tasmania from 29 to just 3 has been met with mixed opposition. The call to drastically reform the state's local government was made by the Tasmanian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, who claims the move will improve efficiency in the sector.
Tasmania is over-governed. That's the claim by the Tasmanian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, who want to see councils slashed to just 3.
Why can't we have 3 of the best general managers in the state? Surely we should be going for best practice, best on field, not whoever is around can have a job.
Across the state, there's 4,000 local government employees, 23,000 state government employees, and just under 3,500 people employed by the Commonwealth. To break that down even further, for every 16 Tasmanians, there's 1 elected government employee. The report has attracted mixed reviews though, with Labor saying the current system means strong representation.
We have good access to our members of parliament and to our local government councillors. That means that people can have a say in the decisions that are made on their behalf. I think it's a good thing that people are close to their elected representatives so that our democracy can truly represent what the community wants.
While some say 263 councillors is too many.
I think we've got far too many councils in this state. We've got 500,000 people with 29 councils. Now, that's far too many, and I just always believe that we need to reduce that.
We don't have compulsory voting, so really what they are is the representatives of the people who voted for them.
But there are fears hundreds would lose their jobs.
We've got to come up with different models as to where people can make sure there is good representation for their area, and then they can be part of a council where they are heard as well.
The state government says other states have tried similar reforms but failed because it wasn't driven by community support. The TCCI admits it's radical but hopes it'll start conversations. Jessica Moran, Southern Cross News.
The exact location of a base station for the proposed Mount Wellington cable car has been revealed. The company behind the controversial development is now more confident than ever its plan will go ahead amid vocal opposition.
This clearing could one day be filled with visitors, home to the Mount Wellington cable car's base station.
The base terminal is really just a location to park your car, buy a ticket and jump on the system. When you come back down again, there'll probably be a small gift shop to buy a souvenir, and then they can head back into the city.
The company behind the proposal has announced a new 2.5 kilometre road would be built to get on board the cable car, starting near the McRoby's Gully tip and ending here.
We've got a perfect hill for this type of technology. We've looked at all other sorts of cable cars, gondolas, but really the tramway or the cable car fits perfectly.
We believe that a cable car on Mount Wellington would unleash significant investment and would be a good thing for Hobart.
The base station for the cable car will leave from down within this gully and then head up the hill here to the summit. There will be 2 cars going up and down the mountain, each one taking about 7.2 minutes at its quickest to get to the top. But many have rallied against the plan. Concerns raised that Tasmanians were left in the dark, and the company has presented nothing more than sketches.
No cable car! No cable car!
Now, the first stage of the proposal will go before the Hobart City Council to discuss whether the company can do a flora and fauna assessment on site. But the council itself has split on the idea.
All of us as aldermen have become very close, probably too close to the issue. And I think it's about time, particularly with an election only 12 weeks away, that we step back and leave all the landlord issues to our general manager.
The matter will be discussed at a public council meeting on Thursday. Michelle Wisby, Southern Cross News.
A notorious hotspot for arson attacks in Launceston has been targeted once again. Firefighters say an accelerant was used to spread fire through this vacant Housing Commission home in Rochelle shortly after midnight. The attack caused $20,000 and the home will need significant repairs before it can be leased again. The block on Campania Street is well known to firefighters.
Over the last 3 years, we probably had 150 calls. So it's getting, all our resources seem to be tied up in Campania Street, Tulipwood area, and we can't seem to curb it.
Forensics are still trying to determine the accelerant used to spread the blaze. Police say an unaccompanied learner driver was 5 times over the legal limit for a full Tasmanian driver's licence when he allegedly crashed into another vehicle in West Launceston last night. The incident occurred at the intersection on Margaret and Frederick Street at around 6:30. The 28-year-old was charged and immediately disqualified from driving for 12 months. Anyone who may have witnessed the crash is urged to contact police. And police have released a man without charge after an incident in South Hobart over the weekend. Officers seized a large quantity of legal chemicals that were said to be dangerous if mixed. Police are continuing to investigate but say no laws were broken.
At the moment the investigations are still going on. There was no evidence to suggest a bomb was built, so we'll continue to investigate that. At the moment we haven't found any legislation that has been breached.
The Police Commissioner says he'll consider the effectiveness of current laws after the investigation has finished. A new deadline is looming for communities facing the loss of their local churches, with the Anglican Church extending the time to make submissions. The organisation is preparing to sell off properties in order to fund its part of the National Redress Scheme for survivors of sexual abuse.
John Hay is concerned about the future of Kempton's Anglican Church, St Mary's.
It's iconic to the Kempton area. It's been there a long, long time, and it's just one of those things we don't want to lose.
He's preparing a submission to the Anglican Church following its decision to sell off properties to fund its responsibility in the National Redress Scheme.
We think that it should be retained in the community for community use.
The church expects its bill will top $8 million, 5 times its yearly operational costs, but says it is committed to compensating survivors of child sexual abuse.
It's been decided by the Synod, 150 representatives, including people from small rural communities, making that decision to do this.
It's reiterating calls for communities to submit their cases, including why properties are significant to them and details on their historic and cultural heritage. Those who want to keep their churches have 2 options.
Put forward a case of why we shouldn't sell a church, and also put forward a case how they might want to purchase a church which is for sale.
The Kempton community dealing with the finer details of its submission.
We've still got this hanging over our heads in the future, what's going to happen to the church if they decide to change their mind. Either don't sell the church and give us some continuity over it, or let us buy it at a reasonable price so we can do something with it.
The deadline for submissions has been extended from the 1st of September to the 1st of October. Louise Hedger, Southern Cross News.
Today marks the start of National Homelessness Week, an opportunity for the community to support the hundreds of Tasmanians sleeping rough each night. About 1,600 people experience homelessness across the state, but advocates say we also need to remember those who are invisible, staying in insecure or unsafe housing. This year's theme is Ending Homelessness Together. A launch in Hobart showed just some of the initiatives created to help those doing it tough.
Even one person being homeless is too many. In a country like we've got, with a strong economy, we need to make sure that things are shared, and that means our wealth, that means our housing.
Events will continue across the week, including a public forum on homelessness and housing in Hobart on Wednesday night.
With the TSL's minor premiership locked away, North Launceston must now manage its run into the finals. The side has 2 byes in the next 3 weeks, something Taylor Whitford is approaching with caution.
Ladder leader North Launceston is known for holding high standards. Even a brief patch on Saturday when the side let a few goals slip to North Hobart had the coach demanding better.
We spoke about it, and to the credit, they came out after half-time and they were fantastic.
The 163-point demolition tied up the minor premiership and a ticket straight to the semi-final. The side has a bye this week, then a pre-finals clash against Lauderdale. It's now Whitford's job to make sure the side doesn't lose match fitness.
The bye in the season isn't at the right time for us. I guess we're playing some good footy at the moment, but it's about us training the way we want to play. And we were in the same position last year where we had the byes before the finals, and that seemed to work okay.
His side has the respect of the league's leading goal kicker. Mitch Thorpe rates the Northern Bombers as the strongest defence to come up against. Having booted 57 goals this season, including 6 on the weekend, Thorpe is clearly enjoying his time with the Blues.
coached for the last 6 years, and to have the pressure of not coaching and just go out and play has been great, and hopefully it can lead to bigger and better things as the year progresses.
He's already committed to being part of the team's fabric again next season.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, 29 years old and enjoying playing footy, so no reason why I won't play next year.
And the votes are in for the RACT Insurance Player of the Year in the TSL after round 19. Chase Jones bagged 3 votes after booting 2 goals for the Blues in their win over Clarence. Taylor Whitford takes Best on Ground honours after his side's massive win over North Hobart. And Reece Mott earns 3 votes for the Pies after finding plenty of the footy against the Tigers. To the leaderboard, it's become a 2-horse race, with Whitford catching up to Glenorchy's Daniel Joseph on 16 votes. Josh Ponting is on 11, while Ryan Bailey, Tom Bennett and Jake Cox are on 10. Burnie basketballer Trey Armstrong has enjoyed 2 big wins as part of the Australian Emu side at the FIBA Under-18 Asian Championship. Last night, Armstrong shot 9 points for the Emus in their 118 points to 44 win over Thailand. It was more of the same today, the side smashing Bahrain 107 to 42. Armstrong was again a contributor, shooting 7 points in the victory. The Emus play New Zealand in their final group game tomorrow. Wilson Muir from the UTAS and Huon rowing clubs is on his way to China, where he'll represent Australia at the World University Rowing Championships. Muir is rowing alongside his doubles partner Hugo Langsford from South Australia. The 3-day event begins in Shanghai on Friday.
Good evening. 14 degrees today for Hobart, Launceston, Burnie and Devonport all reaching a top of 13. 15 the state's top today for Cape Bruni, 14 at Campania and Bushy Park, 13 degrees for Strawn, Flinders Island, Smithton, Lowhead and Ouse, all 12 degrees, 10 at Scottsdale and Medina with 3 degrees atop of Mount Wellington. Mid to high level cloud over the state today, embedded thunderstorm activity off the east coast and that cloud band off the east coast extending to Queensland with speckled low cloud over the Bight and west and south of WA with mostly clear skies elsewhere. Tomorrow the cold front and the trough remain in the Tasman Sea. A high over central WA extends a ridge from the coastline towards Brisbane. On the waters, west to southwesterly winds 20 to 30 knots, reaching 35 about the northeast with lighter conditions about the south and east. Winds tending west to northwesterly later on with seas between 2 and 3 metres. A gale warning for northwestern and northeastern waters, a strong wind warning for most remaining coastal waters, and then a small craft wind alert for the Central Lakes. 13 and cloudy tomorrow in Hobart, 12 for Adventure Bay, showers and 7 for Tarraleah. Late rain for Launceston, 14 degrees, 13 in Devonport and Bridport, showers increasing. 13 in showers for Burnie, Strawn and Marrawar, 12 degrees with windy conditions. And 14 at St Helens, some showers there. 14 and sunny for Swansea with 13 the top for Whitemark. Some warmer mornings expected this week with rain expected for most areas on Wednesday. A few showers through the north and also the northwest Thursday, mostly clear elsewhere with a mostly clear day on Friday, just some windy conditions and some showers for the west coast. 19 degrees tomorrow in Perth, 14 and showers there for Adelaide. Showers for Melbourne 14, cloudy in Canberra, 19 the top for Sydney with 23 and sunny in Brisbane, 33 and sunny in Darwin and 29 for Broome. Dull and cloudy day today, Joe. Hobart 10 degrees at the moment, Launceston 9 and Devonport 8 degrees and cloudy. Back to you, our little ray of sunshine.
Oh, you're being very sweet tonight, aren't you? What do you want? All right, that's all from the news team for now. We'll see you a bit later with updates. Bye-bye.